Hi, I'm Cody Sipe and this is Dan Ritchie, and we're going to be taking through a level 1 workout today. The equipment you need is resistance tubing, a chair, preferably a hard chair like a dining room chair as opposed to a recliner or a soft chair, and then stairs or a step of some sort like a small little step ladder that you could use in order to step up on. We're going to be doing 15 repetitions of every exercise today, and we'll be doing them in triple sets. We'll do 3 exercises and then you can take a rest. Remember to pace yourself, try to follow along the best that you can, but if you do need to take a rest or get some water in the middle, please go ahead and do so. Okay, so the first exercise that we're going to start with today is a chair stand. So you want to sit down in the chair so that your back is not actually resting against the back of the chair. Give yourself a few inches of space there so that you are sitting up nice and tall, feet about shoulder width apart, firmly planted on the ground, and then we'd like you to put your arms across your chest in order to stand up and sit down. But if you cannot do that, you can push off your thighs or you can put your hands on the arms of the chair in order to help yourself up. But ideally, you would like to do all 15 repetitions with no extra assistance whatsoever. Okay, so let's begin. So Dana's going to stand all the way up and then sit all the way down, again without leaning all the way back in the chair. Okay, so he's standing up nice and tall every single time. You're going to be working your thighs and your buttock muscles. This is very important. You'll also notice that Dan has enough strength and control where he is not throwing his arms forward and throwing his body forward in order to get out of the chair. This is really important that you want to work up to. Okay? So again, if you need to go to a modification halfway through, that's fine in order to finish your repetitions because we'd like you to get through all 15 repetitions. Those are looking really good. Continue to breathe. Okay, the next one we're going to go right into is a tandem walk. Okay, in the tandem walk, you're going to put one foot directly in front of the other. So go ahead and show that to him, Dan. See how he is walking heel toe, as if he's walking down an imaginary line. And actually, if you have tile that you're walking on, then you can actually try to walk on those lines in the tile or in your carpet. If you cannot do this, however, and you can't quite get heel to toe if that's too much of a balance challenge, then do a semi-tandem walk in which you're going to put one foot in front of the other, but it's going to be off to the side just a little bit, and that's what Dan is demonstrating here. Okay? Dan, try to look up straight ahead so you're not looking at your feet. A lot of people want to look down at their feet while they're doing this, okay, and you want to try to look up as much as possible. Okay, that looked good. All right, so the next exercise that we're going to go into is a 2-arm standing shoulder press. So you'll need your resistance tubing. Okay, so Dan's getting set up here. He's going to stand on the band with both feet. Now he's got a rather narrow stance. If this is too much of a balance challenge for you, then go ahead and spread your feet out just a little bit to where you're comfortable. During the whole exercise, stand up tall. You rack your hands to your shoulders, just like Dan is showing, with the tubing running right behind your arms. Okay, now go ahead and press up. You're going to press up to the ceiling with both arms at the same time. Keep a good upright posture. Try to brace through the core, that is tighten just a little bit through your midsection and trunk in order to keep good posture while you're doing these. Okay, slow down just a little bit. Okay, he's still standing up nice and tall. We're working shoulders, back of the arms for the triceps here. Okay, really trying to stretch up as tall as he can, reaching to the ceiling. Excellent, good job. Remember to breathe. Okay, take a few seconds of rest here while we transition to the next set of exercises. If you need to get a drink of water, go right ahead, or take a little break if you need to pause the video and catch your breath. But otherwise, we're just going to keep on going. So our next set of exercises is going to be a standing tubing row, a heel walk, and then a standing chest press. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get our tubing. You would like it anchored to something solid, like let's say a stair rail, or you want to put it in a door jamb in order to hold it about chest height. So he's going to go ahead and step back away far enough to where he stretched the band just a little bit. There's a little tightness there. Now remember, whenever you're working with resistance bands, you can move closer to make it easier, okay? Or you can back up and pre-stretch the band more to make it more difficult. So feet a little bit more than shoulder width apart, nice upright posture. Now he's going to squat down just a little bit, and that's going to give him a nice firm base to work with so it doesn't pull him over. His palms are facing one another, Thumbs are to the air. This is called the neutral grip position. And as you row, you want your elbows to track very closely to the sides. Okay, so go ahead and start, Dan. That's it. So as he pulls those elbows, they're going to come very close to his sides, and then they're going to stop about where his back ends. He doesn't need to drive his elbows any further back than what he's doing. Also, if I were to put my hand in between your shoulder blades while you're doing this, I should feel your shoulder blades really squeezing my hand. And so as a visual for this, if you imagine there's a can placed right here in between your shoulder blades, you're trying to crush that can every time. These are the back muscles that we're working on. We don't want to keep it only to our arms that are working. Excellent job. Good job there. Okay, so now we're going to go to a heel walk right away. So in this one, you're going to walk with your feet pulled off of the ground, your toes up, only walking on your heels. Now this feels a little funny. It's kind of a stiff-legged walk, okay? But it really helps to work those front muscles of your shins and help you to get those toes pulled up. So we're developing some endurance in there, and we're also working on balance at the same time. Okay, good job. Now we're going to go to a standing chest press. Our tubing is still positioned in the same place like we just did the row. However, we're going to turn around so that now the tubing is anchored behind Dan. He's going to go ahead and get the tubing on top of his elbows again, step out in what we call a split stance position where one foot is in front of the other. And again, now the tubing is going to be pulling him back, so he wants the split stance position in order to provide more stability through the trunk. This is actually why we do this in a standing position with tubing, because we want to go ahead and work all those muscles at the same time. We're getting a lot more bang for our buck than if we were, say, lying down doing a chest press, okay? All right, so he's going to go ahead and press out. Notice his palms are facing down, elbows are facing together. Okay, slow down just a little bit. And his elbows are coming out a little bit wider. They're not staying in close to his body anymore. They're tracking a little bit wider. Okay, so we're still working chest, some shoulders, back of the arm, but at the same time, good upright posture. Okay, be stable through the base and continue to breathe. All right, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a rest now. Again, if you need to get some water, go ahead, take a little break, catch your breath, and then we'll go right into the next three. We're going to move into a kneeling pull down, a crossover walk, and then step ups. So for the kneeling pull down, you'd like to have, let's say, a pillow or a cushion handy in order to put your knee on instead of putting it down on the hard floor. This is a little bit more comfortable. And now you want your tubing anchored high, anchored above you. So this could be at the top of a door jamb, okay, for instance. Okay, so he's going to take a kneeling position. So in the kneeling position, remember, both knees are going to be on the ground. Now again, if this is just too uncomfortable for you, you can do a half kneeling position and you could prop one leg up in front of you. But we're going to have Dan here in the kneeling position, okay? Thumbs facing each other again. He's going to pull down. His elbows are coming out really wide and then ending up by his sides and back up. That's it. We still want to get a good squeeze in the shoulder blades, but now instead of it being up tall, it's going to be a little bit lower in the shoulder blades because you have that downward pulling motion. Continue to breathe while you do this. Good posture. That's looking good right there. That's it. Continue to work on your reps. Again, if you need to take a break, you can. If you need to go a little bit slower, that's okay as well. Trying to work through all 15 repetitions. Okay, so now we're going to move into a crossover walk. If you had difficulty with a tandem walk, then you might want to just repeat the tandem walk or the semi-tandem walk. But if you can, let's move to the crossover walk. So now imagine that line on the floor again, and you're going to step over that line with each foot. So you're actually crossing your steps every single time. Crossover walk. If you can cross over even further and take a little bit bigger step, then go as far as you are comfortable with. But any time you're doing these walks, just remember you need something to help you, like a wall beside you. You don't want things that you can knock over in case you lose your balance. There you go. Okay, now we're going to move right into step-ups. So we have a little step bench here. You can use a step stool of some sort if you have one, or you can just use a set of stairs. Set of stairs tends to be a little bit lower, and that's okay. So if you need that and it's difficult for you to climb stairs, that'll be good for you to start with. Plus, you'll have a railing that you can hold on to for balance. So we're going to start with right leg up, and we're going to keep our right leg on the platform the whole time. Okay, he's going to step up, and then the left foot's going to go down. So the left foot is the only one that's moving right now. As he steps up, focus on good upright posture. So when you're doing these at home, try not to throw yourself forward, just like we did in the chair. Okay, lean forward and really cheat on these movements. In addition, if you've got a railing that you're using for balance, you don't want to pull yourself up on the railing. Okay, you just want to use it for balance. If you get fatigued, you're going to start to breathe heavy, you start to lose some of your form. Again, this is part of the training. Okay, you want to build more endurance so that you can do these with good form the whole way through. You're pushing off of your back leg just a little bit, but really we want to make that front leg really do all the work, working thigh and buttocks of that front leg. That's looking really good. Probably notice you're starting to breathe a little bit heavier now, okay, because we're doing these right in a row. That's it. Looks good. Keep it going. And relax. Okay, very good. All right, so just kind of shake those legs out. Give them a little bit of a rest. Stay right here by the stairs or by your step, and we're going to go into a calf raise. So still working on that lower body. So we're going to show this using the step. You can also do this on the floor. So if you just need to use the floor because of balance, or your calves really aren't that strong, then that's fine. But we're going to demonstrate this up on the step. So with this, you want your heels hanging off of the step, okay? Have something to hold on to for balance, and then you're going to raise up on your toes as far as you can go. You would like your heels to drop below level. So notice how Dan is dropping his heels down, getting a good stretch at the bottom, and then coming up as far as he possibly can. You really want to work on those calf muscles to be able to drive off of them. It's so important in a lot of functional activities. You know, we don't do a lot of isolated muscle work, but the calf is one that you use so much in so many everyday activities, so it's very important. So he's showing it just on the ground now, where if you just need to do that option, that's fine as well. Okay, we're going to move to the floor. So you can lay down on a mat or a rug, on the carpet, just anything that's comfortable. However, avoid getting on something soft like a couch or a bed. You really want a firm, stable surface below you. So we're going to start with a bridge exercise, and we're getting into kind of some specific exercises just for the core now, just for our trunk that we're going to be working on. And on each of these exercises that we're going to be doing, we're going to be holding each one for 5 seconds. So instead of doing 15 repetitions, we're going to just hold them for 5 seconds, and then we'll repeat that a few times. So lying on your back, feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart, okay? Arms right down by your side. So to begin, you're going to press your hips up to the ceiling. Try to get a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. So you're squeezing your buttocks, pushing your hips up, driving your heels into the floor, into the ground, and down. While you do this, remember to breathe. Okay, so let's go up again. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Continue to breathe the whole time. Let's do one more. Press up and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So we're really working on muscles throughout the hip and the trunk, trying to get them to stabilize and stiffen all at the same time. Okay, now we're going to roll over into the bird dog. Okay, this is the quadruped position on our hands and knees. And while we do these, you want to make sure that you try to keep your back and your hips stable so they're not moving. Go ahead and kind of look at the ground so that you keep your neck in a neutral position. You don't need to be looking ahead, okay, while you do these. If you need to just kind of watch the video and see how it's done and then do it on your own so you maintain good position, that's perfectly fine. So from this position, okay, knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders and chest, and we're going to raise the right arm off the ground. So he's going to lift his right arm, and the goal is to hold that for 5 seconds without moving his trunk. So you might notice when you first do this that you're kind of moving all over the place, and that's okay. Just stabilize as much as possible. You'll get better at this as you go. Now raise left arm. Okay? What we also don't want to do is we also don't want to try to rotate. So we don't want Dan trying to pull up through his body. We want to keep that trunk level. And you're going to notice that your shoulders might not be very flexible and they can't get off the floor very much, and that's okay. As you just go as high as your shoulder is flexible, and it will allow you to go. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is a little bit more difficult because we're going to raise one leg at a time. The reason that's more difficult is because their legs are just heavier and they're longer, so you're going to create more resistance. Same principle applies. Drive your heel back to the wall, keep your legs straight, and don't move your hips. So people have a tendency to open up their hips while they do this. Keep those hips down. Again, you might be wobbly at first, and that's okay. Let's switch legs. As you build more endurance and strength throughout your hips and your core, like you will with this program, okay, then you're going to get better and better at this, and you're going to hold that position much longer. Okay, let's go through that arm and leg series one more time. So right arm, count for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. Left arm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down. Let's go with right leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Last one here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent. Good job on the workout today. As always, remember to go ahead and follow the functional flexibility routine. Go back and take a look at that. That's a very essential component to the program that's going to help you get better and better and better. If you found that this routine was a little too easy for you, then you can go back and do everything once again, or go ahead and try to move up to a level 2 routine next time. So thank you for following along. We'll see you later.